Hey, most founders will never raise a single dollar, and it's not because their idea is bad, but it's because nobody ever taught them how money actually moves. And here's the brutal truth, right? Raising capital has less to do with your idea and way more to do with how you actually learn to play the game. So in this video, I'm going to break down the mistakes that founders make and they keep making, and the 3 things that investors actually fund. So quick background, look, I've raised tens of millions of dollars for my own companies. My partners and I, we've raised hundreds of millions of dollars, and I've sat across from local angel investors writing $25,000 checks all the way up to billion-dollar family offices and VC and private equity firms writing massive checks. I've literally been in rooms negotiating with credit facilities worth hundreds of millions of dollars and so much more. And you know what I've seen? I've seen great businesses walk out empty-handed, and I've seen average ones actually get funded. And the difference is not the idea, it's how they actually play the game. So let's talk about where most founders actually screw this up. Mistake number 1, they're just trying to sell the idea. They're trying to sell the idea in their head instead of the actual business. And look, ideas don't get funded. Clarity gets funded. A plan gets funded. Mistake number 2, they think they need hundreds of investors, and that is so wrong. You don't need 500 names and be cold emailing people. You need 20 real conversations. Mistake number 3, they think hype alone is going to actually raise money, and no, that never works ever. Investors want proof. They want momentum. They don't want promises. So what do investors actually fund? There's 3 things. They fund a story, they fund a team, and they fund momentum. So first off, story. Investors don't invest in your idea. They invest in your story. And your story is what gets you to the next meeting and to the next meeting and then eventually getting funded. And your story needs to answer 3 very key questions. Number 1, why you? Number 2, why now? And number 3, why this deal? So why you? What edge do you bring? Maybe it's your industry experience. Maybe it's a past win you've had. Whatever it is, why are you and your team the ones to make this happen? Why now? This is a big one. What's happening in the market geopolitically or in the niche that you're in that makes this urgent? If it can wait 5 years, investors won't care. Why does it need to get funded and need to get funded today? And then why this deal? What is the actual opportunity and why does it matter to the investor? We always think from the investor's point of view. When you do that, raising money becomes a lot easier. Here's the test. If you can't actually explain your story in 2 sentences, you're not ready. Try it on someone outside of your industry. If they don't get it immediately, neither will an investor. You need to learn to explain that story as if you're explaining it to a 10-year-old and they can grasp it. Secondly, your team. Look, when investors invest their money, they're betting not on the company, they're betting on you. They're betting on the team and the people behind it. They want to know, can this team actually pull this off? And are they going to be good stewards of my money? And look, that doesn't mean you need a 50-person organizational chart in your team, but it does mean that you need some credibility. You have to show the investors that you have the right people in the right seats right now. Also, they're looking for a founder, a person in you that knows the industry, a technical partner who can actually build the product that you're bringing to market, and possibly even some advisors who bring experience or connections that you may not have yet. If your team looks like a group of dreamers with no track record, you're gonna have a hard time. But if your team looks like killers with the right skills, investors are going to want to hear more and put their money where their mouth is. And third, momentum. Momentum is the number 1 FOMO trigger, that fear of missing out. Investors want to feel like the train is already moving and they are going to miss it if they don't jump on that train now. And no, momentum doesn't always mean revenue. Momentum is proof that things are actually happening. And you can create momentum without a single dollar of revenue. Look, do you have pre-orders of some sort? Even deposits of some sort? Do you have clients? Do you have customers? Do you have any kind of reviews? Do you have really good partnerships, contracts, a signed letter of intent from a company that's willing to actually pilot you? Do you have customers saying, hey, if you build this, we will buy? Do you have some type of public traction, media mentions, testimonials, some kind of social proof? I've worked with founders who had no products yet, but were able to get hundreds of pre-orders. Investors didn't care that the product wasn't ready. They cared that people already wanted it. We had another founder that we helped, 0 track record, no credibility, but he nailed his story. Showed up, he had the right team, he created momentum, momentum with just a handful of early commitments. 12 conversations later, over $2 million raised. Not because he had the best product in the world, but because he played the game the right way. So here's the brutal truth. Raising capital isn't about having the best idea. It's about having your story that is clear, a credible team, and proof of momentum. If you are able to get those three right, you'll separate yourself from 90% of founders out there. And once you lock those in, your pitch deck becomes 10 times more powerful.